Have you ever pondered the cost of conflict? In Sudan, the cost is becoming terribly evident. A persistent battle has plunged this Northeast African nation into a severe humanitarian crisis. Displacement, food insecurity, and destruction are now daily realities for the populace. The conflict has led to an exodus and civilian casualties. Aid agencies warn of a potential famine, with children at the center of this disaster. Yet, global response has been insufficient. Only a fraction of the required aid has been provided, leaving the people in uncertainty. The UN has expressed concern over escalating violence. Hopes rest on peace talks and donor conferences. Meanwhile, reports of forced recruitment by paramilitary forces emerge. As the world watches, the question remains, when will the people of Sudan find respite from this turmoil? To understand the present, one must journey into the past. Let's delve into the timeline of this conflict. A year ago, a conflict that would shake Sudan to its core erupted between the Sudanese armed forces and various paramilitary groups. With each clash, innocent lives were lost, communities displaced, and the nation's soundtrack became gunfire. The world witnessed potential crimes against humanity as allegations of forced recruitment and civilian casualties emerged. The United Nations raised concerns, but the unrest persisted. As the war raged on, food insecurity and the risk of famine threatened millions. Donor conferences were organized, aiming to support mediation efforts and provide aid, yet the response was inadequate. The plea for help echoed globally, but the aid arrived slowly. 1 year on, peace talks began to take form, yet the path to peace stayed fraught with obstacles. As the days turn into months and months into a year, the conflict continues to ravage Sudan, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The echoes of this crisis reverberate far beyond the borders of Sudan. The international community's response remains inadequate. Alarms of famine have been raised, endangering millions, particularly children. Only 5% of the required aid has been provided. The United Nations has warned of escalating violence and potential crimes against humanity. This conflict involves the Sudanese armed forces and paramilitary groups, causing civilian casualties and displacement. Donor conferences aim to provide aid and support mediation efforts, yet more help is needed. Advocates demand increased response and accountability. The resilience of the Sudanese people shines through, but the international community must do more. In the midst of despair, hope can seem like a distant dream. But is there a way forward for Sudan? Peace talks are planned, holding the potential for change and an end to the suffering. These talks need inclusivity and global backing. The world must support these efforts, not just watch. It's a time for action, not apathy. There needs to be a commitment to peace, to rebuilding, to prioritizing the innocent. The future of Sudan hangs in the balance, and the world must not turn a blind eye, because in the end, the cost of conflict is paid by the innocent.